Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. I wanted to end the week in style, so I thought I'd do a reaction to a Style Council song. The song I was going to do was Long Hot Summer. Now that was the highest charting single for the Style Council in the UK. Now, I always do research on what I'm going to present, so I was doing some research and I came across something I didn't realize existed. There's a Style Council song recorded in 1988 that I didn't know was out there. Now, the reason I didn't is it wasn't released as the Style Council. It was released as a group called King Truman. So let me tell you a little bit of story about the King Truman single. What happened was two of Mick Talbot and Paul Weller's friends started a label called Acid Jazz. This was in 1988, I believe, is when they started that label. The people that started that label was Eddie Piller and Giles Peterson. So Mick Talbot and Paul Weller thought, hey, let's help the label out and do a song for that label. Well, they knew that they were contracted to Polydor Records and couldn't use the Style Council as the name, so they came up with a name called King Truman. Now, where did they get that name? Well, Mick Talbot is Truman King. He changed his name for this song. Paul Weller was Elliot Arnold. In fact, when you look at the single, that's who wrote this song. Truman King and Elliot Arnold. So this was released with members of the Style Council. We had D.C. Lee, who was one of the female vocalists for the Style Council. She was also Paul Weller's girlfriend at the time and future wife to Paul Weller. We had Steve White on drums, and then the sax player, Ed Jones. So we have a lineup of players from the Style Council recording this song. Well, it was recorded, produced, pressed on the vinyl, and then was going to be released to the record stores. But then Polydor found out about this and said, no, you can't do this. Style Council is signed with Polydor, and no matter what name they use, they can't be on another label. So they made Acid Jazz pull this single 3 days before it was released. Well, the funny part is 100 of these records did get to record stores, another 50 got to DJs, and another 30 got out there as white label promos to different whoever gets promo records. And so there's about 180 copies of this record floating around, which makes this about the rarest Paul Weller song and record to be had. So if you have a copy of this, you've got gold in your hand. So what's the name of the song? The song is called Like a Gun. The record itself had 4 versions of this song on it. 2 on the A side, 2 on the B side. So the version we're going to listen to is what I believe to be what they call the radio edit. It's over 5 minutes long. That's long for an edit, but I believe that's what version we're going to listen to. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I've never heard this song before. I'm anxious to hear it. I mean, I love the Style Council. I love Paul Weller. Love the jam. It's just great stuff. So this should be great. Here we go with Like a Gun by King Truman.
Kick it.
Wow, this is not at all what I was expecting. Not at all. Pretty funky. You could say it's almost like Parliament, funky, funkadelic, funky. I mean, it is funky. That bass in there is just funk bass. Really, really nice bass. I love the piano in the beginning. And then you've got that keyboard. It's like the Stevie Wonder keyboard playing. It's almost like having Stevie Wonder on this record playing the keyboard. And then you've got that heavy sax. That sounds really great. The vocals so far, from what I can make out, is kick it. I mean, I think that's what they're saying. Kick it. And that's all the vocals we have so far. But wow, this is funky. This is much more funky than anything else I've ever heard by Weller. Let's keep it going. Oh, those keyboards in there are just awesome. Do you hear that where he's going right up the he was going right up the keys? That's really cool. I wish they'd mix the vocals up a little bit more front so that you can hear what they're saying. I'm trying to listen to what they're saying, but it's real difficult because it's pushed so back into the mix. Although I think they did that on purpose because they wanted to have the music be what's driving the song and not the vocals. So they're kind of pushed back in the mix. But so far, great. I love this. It is really funk dance music. The keyboards in there are excellent. And that sax just keeps on driving. Wow. Really pretty heavy stuff. Let's go. Let's go. saying, like a gun, I shoot my best shot, baby. I think that's what they're saying. I'm trying to hear it. I think that's what they're saying. If somebody hears something else, put it in the comments. That'd be cool. But so far, wow. I mean, this is just way out there for Paul Weller and Mick Talbot. I don't think they've ever done anything like this before, but this is kind of interesting. I love the funk. The funk is excellent. Oh, 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 that was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting. I didn't. That's not all. That is not at all what I expected. Now, acid jazz, when they started out, they were kind of a jazz type label, more of a modern jazz type label. I got into acid jazz record in the 2000s. They were starting to put out records of groups from the 60s that did mod rock. And they were really interesting records because they were things that you really never heard of before. They were probably released as those records, but never went anywhere. There was some real early Small Faces and things like that, which I really got into. So I got into acid jazz in the 2000s. Prior to that, I really didn't know much about the label, but they did a lot of modern type jazz in the late 80s through the 90s. So for this to be out there is incredible. I just think this is really great. Now, you could hear DC Lee in the second half of this song, or maybe the last third of the song. You could kind of hear her kind of singing beyond the regular backup singers and almost like kind of moaning almost with her vocals. But wow, and the drumming in here, I mean, the drumming just kept this thing going. I mean, there was a really good beat in here, had a couple of good rolls in there, trying to keep up with that funk bass. Just really cool. There's so much going on in this song. I mean, you got to really listen hard to the vocals. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm glad I found this. Like I said, I'd never heard this before. And, you know, it fits kind of where Paul Weller was going with the Style Council. They had the Council Collective single that was out there. That one was kind of funk rap. But this one is like really different from anything else that I've ever heard by the Style Council. But I really liked it. I mean, it just fit into where Paul Weller was taking that group before they broke up, and then in 1989, and then Paul Weller going out on his own. So I liked it. This was really wild. I could listen to this over and over again. I guess I'm just a Paul Weller, Mick Talbot freak. So I love this kind of stuff. So I hope you love this kind of stuff too. If you did, hit that like button. That'd be really cool. If you have any comments about King Truman, the song Like a Gun, or, you know, did you ever hear this before? And, you know, do you have a copy of it? That'd even be cooler. Put in the comments below. That'd be really, really cool. I'm also going to take the link from this video and put it in my notes below. So if you want to go back and listen to this song without me stopping it and making comments, you know, that'd be a perfect opportunity for you to do that. All you got to do is pick on the link, the video will pop up, and then you play it. Also, what you may want to do is subscribe to the person's channel that uploaded this video. You know, help out another YouTuber. That'd be really, really cool. The other thing that I saw was that Paul Weller and the Style Council, I think, have a live version of this on YouTube as well. So that I got to go back and listen to because I want to hear what that sounds like also. Now, talking about subscribing, I hope you've subscribed to Driving with Todd. But if you have not subscribed to Driving with Todd, do it right now. Just hit that subscribe button. It's fast, it's simple, and you'll make me really happy. And if you go over here and ring that bell, you'll get updates to my latest videos. So this is cool. Never heard it before. It's always fun to find something that's new by one of your favorite artists. And Paul Weller is one of my favorite artists. So I really enjoyed this. It put a big smile on my face. Hope it put a big smile on your face. And peace out, baby.